We're continuing the Shir on Otzros Chaim, Shar Nekudim Perak Aleph, close to the end. V'nachshel levar pasuk pekachi necha. Now we're going to go back to explain this pasuk. We're going to explain now the pasuk of pekachi necha uresh musenu. We're going to bring it later. Again, we're going to explain it. Ki kasher ba b'chinas ayin shema nekudos. Az nemar pekachi necha v'psichu deinim. Now when the bechina of the ayin comes, which is the nekudos, the or of the einayim of Adam Kadmon come out of Adam Kadmon, then the pasuk is said with opening of the eyes, because the or comes out of the eyes, and this creates the olam hanekudim. V'nei kvar nizbar ki kol bechinas ha'elu hem b'shem sag. Now we already explained that all of these bechinos are in the name of sag, meaning that even the ozen chotem peh, and also what comes out of the eyes, the oros that came out of the ozen chotem peh, which is the oros of the ozen chotem, and the peh was akudim, and also the oros of the eyes, which is called nekudim. These are all oros of sag. We said that sag is broken up into 4 bechinos, which is tamim, nekudas, tagim, and osios, and the tamim also have 3 divisions. The tamim that are on top of the osios, inside the osios, and on bottom of the osios, and the ones on top came out of the ears. The ones in the middle of the osios came out of the nose, and the ones on the bottom came out of the mouth. So now, after finishing the tamim, we go into the nekudos of sag, and the nekudos of sag are what's going to come out of the eyes. So, in the end of the day, all of these bechinos, ears, nose, mouth, and eyes, are all bechinas of shem sag. Hashem is a romez labina, and this shem, this name of sag, is hinting to bina, shehi gvur ilah, which is gvur ilah, debot hayadinim, which all of the dinim, all the judgments and harshnesses are dependent on and come from bina. Lachen, bezua bechina shel sag, huinin bitul malachim. Therefore, from this bechina of sag, there's an inyan of bitul malachim, which we're going to see. From that comes also the sitrach, and all the difficult or bad things come from the shvius malachim, from bitul malachim. Vegam bepratus hasag, yesh bo bechinas hatamim shegam hem nikroim av. Im hiyosam b'shem sag, omnam akudas shel sag hem nikroyos hasag. Atzmo shehem sag shebasag. Now, even if we take, as we said, if we take the sag, it also has the bechin of tamim, nekudas, tagim, and osios, and those tamim, nekudas, tagim, and osios relate to the av, sag, ma, ben. So the av is like the tamim, sag is like the nekudas, ma is like the tagim, and ben is like the osios. So we said the tamim, which is the av shebasag, came out of the ozen chotem peh, and now the sag shebasag, which is the nekudas of sag, is coming out of the einayim. And the rabbi is saying here that also the nekudas of sag, since it's sag shebasag, it's the most important aspect of sag, or most sag part of sag, because sag has 4 different parts, and the most important or most essential part of sag is actually the sag shebasag, which is the most sag out of all the other bechinos. And there, in Sag Shebasag, the bittul and the misa came about, which is a real expression of the inyan of bina, as we mentioned before, which is from there, from bina come the grus, and here, therefore, from Sag, which is the inyan of bina, the grus and the misa is going to come and develop from it. And this is the inyan of the pasuk, kulu sag yachtov ne'elochem. Because in the shem sag was all of the bittul. This pasuk, the way he explains it here, is kulo sag yachtov, all of the sag together ne'elochem. He says here, Ratzalam a kulo sag, shu sag shebasag. Kulo sag here is referring to the fact that the oros einayim is sag shebasag. That's what it means. It's totally sag. Yachtov ne'elochu. Azai ne'elachu. Then nishibaru v'nisbatlu. The Kem Shlomo explains that ne'elachu here means that they broke and they died. So kulo sag, all of the sag, meaning sag shebasag, yachtov ne'alochu, there they died. Ki b'shem sag hayakol bittul, because in the shem sag, that's where the bittul took place, and that's where the creation, as we're going to see, the bittul of the malachim is going to create the beginning of the dinim and the gvurus, the klipas. Sag atzmo mara al zeh shehu miloshon nasogu ochar. And sag itself, the word sag in Hebrew also hints to this inyan, because it comes from loshon nasogu achar, which we'll turn back or pull back. Shehu bittul malachim, which is in of bittul malachim, which is also like pulling back, or maybe it's referring here to the oros that leave and they pull back, and the kelim fall down. It could be what it was referring to. I'm not exactly sure how he's putting this pasuk in nasogu achar into this inyan. Vine, ha'in gam ken nikra al shem sag, kmo ozen chotem peh. Now the eye is also called al shem sag, kmo ozen chotem peh kanal, v'uhu be'inyan zeh. Now the eyes are also called the shem sag. We said before that all of the ozen chotem peh is, we showed how each one of them has a hint or a gematria which relates to sag. I don't remember all of them offhand, but remember we went through each one of them, how somehow each one of them, if you added up the gematria, some of them got to very close to sag. Ozen is 50. Ozen is 58. We added a couple. We added, I guess, 5 somehow to get sag. I think we added even more, and then we somehow, I don't remember where that 5 came from somewhere, I don't remember. Chotem is 49, 55, exactly sag. Chotem is exactly sag. And Peh is 85, and that's a couple extra, but I don't remember. I'm saying we already explained it in the beginning, how exactly these came out to sag. We could look it up again. But basically, we showed how each one of them had a gematria of, or related to it directly to the shem sag. And this also, the eyes have a gematria relate to shem sag in this way. Kelokasha hayu gimel bechinas hanizkarim ozen chotem peh shehem atamin haya shem sag shelahem bechinas havaya shel sag. Now we're going to explain how some hagdamas, some introductions before we go into explain this exact inyan. But when there were 3 bechinas, the 3 bechinas of ozen chotem peh, which are tamim, their sag was a bechin of havaya of sag, havaya with a milui of sag, shehem yud ke vav ke, like this, with a milui of alfin in the vav only, and the rest have yuds. That makes up gematria of sag. Yud vav daled, and then ke yud, and then vav aleph vav, and then ke yud make gematria of sag. From nam ba'ayin shu bechinas nekudos hu sag shel gimel pamim ekeh. Now in the eyes, there's a different shame of sag that comes to be revealed in the eyes, and it's not the havaya of sag, it's not the yud ke vav ke with a milui of sag, it's a shame, 3 times shame ekeh. 3 times shame ekeh is also gematria of sag. Shem begematria sag gamke. V'zehu b'china sag asher b'ayin, and this is the b'china of sag that's in the eye. V'nei kol shem ekeh me'ilu gimel lokeach kol b'china sachof beis osios ha nirmozim b'kautz patach k'niz kaleh k'dei lasos mem kelim aydei staklus ayin behem. Now all of these ekes, all of these 3 ekes, take a b'china of the chof beis osios, take the b'china of the chof beis osios, which is hinted at in the comments and patach, as mentioned above. We said before the comments and patach that there are 2 vavs and 1 yud, and 2 vavs and 1 yud make gematria of chof beis, meaning that they refer to the fact that there's a chof beis osios. So the comments and patach are relating to the osios, which is kelim. And the eyes, as we said, they are going to pick up these kelim as they pass by through the ozen chotem peh, and they're going to make kelim for themselves. Aydei staklus ayin bahem, through the staklus ayin, when the eye looks down past the ozen chotem peh, the oros of ozen chotem peh picks up these oros and make kelim for the oros hanayim. In King, kol shem ekya mehen hu kol chof besosios. And therefore, each one of the shem ekyas, that the three shem ekyas that make up the same shem sag of the hanayim, each one of them have chof besosios. Nimtza ki gimel shemos ekya im gimel pamim chof besosios gematria kal k'minyan ayin. Now, if you take the three shemos of ekya with 3 times chof besosios, because each one of the shemos of ekya took a chof besosios as it passed through the ozen chotem peh, so that is gematria of kal kuf lamed. Chof base times 3, 22 times 3 is 66. With ekya times 3, ekya is 21, times 3 is 60, how many doing this times, times 3 is 63, so 63 times 66 is 120, and we're missing a kola, we have to add a kola here, 129, so 129 plus the kola, now look at that, I have shinu nuschos, a different nuschos says ima kola. If you take all these gematrias with the kol, there's a principle in gematrias that sometimes, if you're making gematria, I don't know exactly the rules for this, but sometimes it's allowed to add an extra number, and it relates to the to the general the culmination of all the different osios, and that number is added into the gematria. So here we have 129. 3 ekyas is 21 times 3, which is 63, plus chof base, as I said, is 66, so it only makes 129. So we have to add a kola, we have to add an extra 1 to get to 130, communion ayin. Now 130 is gematria ayin, which is I, and therefore we see now that these 3 shemos, which is sag, relate to the I. So we find also in the I, we find in the word ayin, we can break it down and find the 3 shemos ekya, plus the 3 kelim, and kol. The three sets of chof base kelim. Hare eich shem sag romes gam ken b'ayin. Now from here we see how shem sag is also hinted to in the I. And this is the secret of the pasuk. It says, "Open up your eyes and see." Ki be'ozen chotem peh yesh gimel pamim sag. Now in ozen chotem peh we have 3 times sag. And there also, if you take 3 times sag, it's 120 plus 180 plus a 9, 189. With the kola is gematria pekach. It's gematria of pekach, which is 188. 188 with the kola is 189. So pekach with the kola is equal to 3 times sag. So here we see that pekach is referring to the 3 times sag, which we have by the ozen chotem peh. Afterwards come the bechina of the eyes, and this is the exact wording of the pasuk. Pekach einecha. Pekach is referring to ozen chotem peh, because pekach is gematria with the kola of 3 times sag, which is the 3 sags of the ozen, of the chotem and of the peh. And then einecha is referring to the oros hanayim, which come out afterwards, right afterwards. Because all the 3 ekyas that are in the eyes, they're all bechina of ekya de milu yudim. They're all ekyas with milu yudim. Shem gematria kasa kaminyan einayim imakol. They aren't the 3 oros of that come out of the eyes, that are bechina of ekya that make up the sag, don't come out simply as aleph k yud k. They come out with a milu of yud, which is aleph lamed pei, k is k yud, yud is yud vav daled, and then k is k yud again, which is gematria of kuf samach aleph, kaminyan einecha imakol, and that is gematria of einecha with the kol. If you add einecha together, again you have with the kol it's 100. Einecha is ayin is 70, plus 2 yuds is 90, plus nun is 140, plus chaf is 160, and kasa is 161. So einecha with the kol is 161. וזהו פיקח עיניך רש ממוסנו, כי כאן היה שיממון וביטול המלאכים. And this is the meaning of the pasuk. Pekach einecha, we said pekach is referring to הזמחות temper. Einecha is referring to the einayim. And uresh mamosenu, who that's referring to the bittul of the malachim. Okay, finished Perek Aleph of Shai Nekudim.